All right, hi everybody. This is the preseason kickoff for the Very Good Dynasty League. Today we're gonna be talking about how our league is looking for the beginning of the year, some of the offseason transactions that were made, some predictions for where we're going to end up, and we're going to introduce our new manager Ian to the league, who has the annoying Steelers background going on.
Hell
So
yeah.
why don't we go ahead and kick off with that? We have Ian in the upper left. Brad is on the right. Johan's on the bottom left. And we have Joe figuring out how to use technology. And he showed up with a webcam and a microphone that works. So we can't ask for much more than that. But yeah, let's go ahead and let Ian introduce himself and talk about where he thinks his team is, and some of the moves that he's looking to make and how he's going to integrate here. So go ahead for it.
Yep. Swindled by Tom, a couple months ago. Known Tom 5-6 years now.
Yeah.
Just through work. We both work at Stellantis. And just finally decided there's a spot opening. The guy that used to own the team has been pretty busy with life outside of work. So just his free time is very valuable. So he wasn't able to commit as much time as he would have hoped. So just kind of coming in. This is my first time doing the Dynasty League. Was a little hesitant at first, but Tom talked me into it.
For sure.
A lot of the league stuff that I did before was just your seasonal draft, just your seasonal draft stuff. So picked it up I didn't really seriously get into fantasy till maybe the year before COVID. But
that's recent. I didn't realize it was so recent.
Yeah. I mean, I always followed football, but fantasy never really did it for me till a couple years ago. So relatively new. I don't really have. I know you mentioned me having a strategy. Don't really have one right now.
Yeah.
I do know. I do like. I had a strategy taking over the team, basically. The team is relatively young, and I was in a good position to make some good picks in the draft. I ended up getting 2 running backs, Tank Bigsby and
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs. Yeah. Yep. So
great pick.
Just
Can't
kind
beat
of
it.
Yeah, especially behind having Nick Chubb and I can't remember who else. I had Zeke, but he's kind of on the decline a little bit. So just getting the young guys to replace the guys that are getting a little bit older, especially when we're talking about running backs.
Yeah.
I bet you traded Olave last year. That sucks.
Well, that wasn't him. Yeah, I bet he wished he had Olave back for sure.
Yeah. Yep. I don't have too much history for before I actually joined the team and what actually happened, but
there will be more competent management happening now. He'll be more involved in the league, responding to trades, responding to doing free agency, like making a free agent move. That your team could be so much further ahead if you had just had it participated in free agency the last year. So yeah, I'm really happy to have you on board and have you be a part of this, dude. I appreciate you joining. I know I kind of browbeat you into it by giving you co-ownership first, and then basically
that was the right way to do it.
Anything all summer, all year. So basically, you're gonna take over. So you're forced into it.
Yeah, even though the co-ownership was essentially just me anyway.
Yeah.
Just kind of I guess it was easier on my mental. Just kind of easy. Yeah,
it's just like easy.
Just knowing it's not just me right now. It's somebody else's team.
Sure.
I kind of got to take some respect. Not going to make any big moves, but suggestions and stuff like that. So now that I fully have it, I feel like taking risks is a little easier to do now.
Yeah.
Now that I have full ownership. So.
And it's good. I mean, you do have a couple of young people. Like you got Gibbs. Gibbs is going to be pretty sick. You have DK Metcalf. You have Nick Chubb. Like you got some young pieces to build around. I think you ended up with Kyler. So who knows what goes on with him.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And it's been nice. Although injuries and they've had a lot of team drama the past 2 years. So between injuries and team drama, I have had him the last 2 years that I was in the seasonal league. He was on my team both those years, so pretty familiar with Kyler. Baller.
He can win you a league.
First year I had him, he was top 3. Just insane points totals. And then, between him and Kenny Pickett, he's the other young quarterback I have.
Boy,
between the two young guys, then the two older guys I have are Russell Wilson and Kirk Cousins. So, I get the two older guys and then two younger guys, hopefully to come in and replace them. But for now, running three quarterbacks seems to be what I will do, at least until I get a little bit more familiar and kind of see what they do.
Yeah.
I'm also kind of curious to see Cousins kind of been hit or miss, but Russ being and getting another year into it and his offense getting a little more comfortable. Be interesting to see how he does as well.
For sure. Well, cool. Thanks. Anybody have any questions for Ian? Yeah, it's the first time we have a manager of this team that's like actually participating in the league. So,
yeah. Are you from Pittsburgh or what's going on with this?
So, no, it's actually, I love telling the story because I've been in Michigan my whole life. My dad and family, this probably goes back to about the late 30s. Actually, well, it goes back even further than that. So my grandparents lived in Pittsburgh since probably about the 40s. My family comes from Eastern Europe, Slovakia. And so my great grandparents immigrated, and then I think they were in New York, and then my grandparents ended up moving to Pittsburgh. And so every Thanksgiving, every big holiday, I ended up going to Pittsburgh. And my dad was smart enough to not raise me as a Lions fan. That's just pretty self-explanatory.
Sure.
And so it just every Sunday, instead of watching the Lions and being disappointed every Sunday, it was watching the Steelers. So
nice. I actually didn't know that about you either.
No, there you go.
Yeah. Well, good, dude. I appreciate you being here and taking part in the team. So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's a big commitment. So
no, it is a big commitment, but it seems like it's gonna be the camaraderie. It'll be pretty rewarding.
Yeah,
I think, so.
I appreciate you jumping in and calling for my resignation and calling me a scam or whatever you call it, collusion. Yeah, last
collusion.
night.
Yep.
Yeah,
yeah. The all caps collusion.
Fun of the league. That's the fun of the league.
That's
We're just trying to beat the scam. You beat the scam. You beat the Matrix. That's the game.
Keep trying. Joe, Brad, anything for Ian?
I was just going to say that if you were a Lions fan, you probably would have started playing fantasy earlier because it's really the only thing you can look forward to as your fantasy team once the Lions lose.
Seriously,
so,
yeah.
Yep.
So that's why, I got into it many years ago.
Yeah.
Well, Ian, first time in Dynasty?
Yes, correct. Yep.
Okay. Well, I can give you a plethora of advice on what not to do because I probably broke every cardinal rule in the game. So
more than one.
One of these days, when we have a 2-hour podcast, I can go over in detail how I took my team from being probably a borderline playoff contender to being into a 2 to 3 year rebuild program.
Yeah.
I could wrote the book on that one.
Ian actually is kind of aware of what you did because I would fucking vent in the Discord about like the moves you were making and the 11 o'clock phone calls that we were having for 2-3 hours. And yeah,
the first time it happened was they thought Tommy, I made a trade with Brad and he thought I was trying to throw my team and I was going to like quit.
I thought you were leaving the league. It was that
egregious. It was such a bizarre trade. And, yeah, it was. If I have one piece of advice, is Dynasty, run the course, keep your players, but the most important thing is you sort of have to know where they are in the lineup. Are they behind if they're the third running back or the third receiver? Yeah. Is there going to be a trade, or is someone disgruntled, or is someone going to move? And that's one thing I got to admit that Tommy and probably a lot of the other guys did is they take a look at what's ahead of a player, and they don't make snap judgment moves. And I treated my second year Dynasty as though it was a redraft.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to do this now. And I made a lot of these guys in this right here in this podcast can attest to the fact that I made trades and these players became studs virtually after I hit send.
Yeah.
So Yeah. And there's also a really good trade tool. It's called the Dynasty Football Trade Calculator.
Yeah.
I would highly advise you using that to see, especially when you start trading picks, whether they're mid, early, or late round picks. It's a pretty good site. I wish I would have had that early on, but I'm better at it now than I was. So I guess one good thing was, even though I torpedoed my team, I think it got the entire league into trading and a lot of this playful banter that goes back. And there wasn't a lot of trading until I traded half my team away. So at least I got that ball rolling.
You really did kick off the interaction with the people for sure.
Yeah, that almost is much fun than making up your lineup.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, you really did set up Brad for like ultimate success here. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Christian McCaffrey, and you gave him Garrett Wilson. So, yeah, Ian's a little bit aware of that trade, but yeah, no, that's.
I think that when you had sent me that one night, you were like on the phone. You were on the phone with Joe till like 12:30 or something. Yeah. I think we were still on Discord. I think that was actually one of the nights you were saying, Mike's getting ready to leave the league. Got an opening for you. Yeah. So it all happened around the same time. So that's probably the earliest knowledge that I have of the league.
And I remember for about a week, like you were really I was like feeding you what was going on. And you were like, this actually sounds really cool and really fun. So that's kind of what hooked you in. So thank you, Joe, for hooking Ian in too with the drama and the trade stuff. So, let's. I guess we can.
I wanted to add something with a part where my dad was talking about like knowing people in the lineup. Just like as an example, like I was pretty active this offseason, and right when Charlie Jones was on the Bengals drafted and getting good light, I picked him up because just knowing like T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd are at the end of their contracts and they're going to be on their way out of Cincinnati. I already have Joe Burrow, so I'm already kind of planning for like, they're not going to be able to pay everyone.
Right.
Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow are going to get paid big, and so there's going to be an open lane for this guy to be on an explosive offense with plenty of attempts to go around. So I'm just kind of holding on to him, and I wouldn't really dump him unless if I really had to, looking forward into the next 2 years probably. So kind of an example of what my dad was talking about.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, paying attention to the depth chart and the contract situations really will help you. And the trending tool in Sleeper is pretty good also about who's getting added and who's getting dropped, and then you can kind of piece together why as it's going together. So thanks for the advice. I appreciate that,
thank
you guys.
Yeah, good to know.
Yeah. Well, so I guess we can transition that into the trade that got made last night that got everybody chirping like baby birds looking for a worm. Joe and I traded his first round pick for Jonathan Taylor, who is on the PUP.
Why?
It has.
Why
big,
what?
Huh?
I gotta know why you wanted it. I gotta know my dad's side of it.
Okay,
so
I had sent him. I had sent him an offer earlier that he laughed in my face for, but I just want to get the ball rolling, right? You gotta kick an offer out there every once in a while.
Ian, you have to understand this about Tommy too. It's analogous to someone wanting to buy a $500,000 house. Their first offer is $200,000.
Yeah.
Okay. So
why would you ever offer $500,000?
You get sucked into the vortex pretty quickly. So when I saw Zay Flowers, I'm like, Zay Flowers in a first round pick. I was immediately into the thing of saying, okay, I'm starting to punch stuff in. I go, well, let's see an even pick. And then he's tried to get Spears, my running back.
Tajay Spears,
like, great. I've learned my lesson not to get rid of rookies like that. So I don't care. I'm going to hold on to them for a couple of years and see what happens. So anyway, I ran it through the modeler. I said, well, it's a first-round pick and it's even. And then people are like, well, why would you get someone on the pup list, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And this is my logic. First of all, you don't know what's going to happen. When I give him a first-round pick, that pick is only super valuable because he wants to pick up that dynamite wide receiver who's the son of a
Marvin Harrison Jr. from Ohio State.
Right. So, and then there's a running back, I think Ohio State running back, who's like maybe number 3. He's a stud. Problem is, that pick is valuable to Tommy if I finish last. All right, then he gets the number 1 pick. Or
so do me a favor and finish last, all right?
So I'm looking at this thinking, well, if I don't finish last or I finish 4th from last, he's kind of screwed.
Yeah.
In exchange for that, I get I get a disgruntled player who's not going to want to play this year, but he's the foundation of my running backs. And I said my running backs are horrible. I mean, I've got some decent receivers.
They're pretty bad.
My running back point total guys I got a guy at 10 points and a guy at 11. Tommy's backups are getting 10, 11 points. Okay, that's how far behind I am the leaders, like Brad and Marianne and Tommy. So I'm looking at this saying, I'm going to get a proven player who's 24 and a half years old. I'm going to get 4 or 5, 6 years out of this guy, and he's going to be a top 10. Okay?
That's a lot of
now,
years.
I looked online today. What was that, Brad?
Joe.
That's too many years.
Johan wants to explode.
There's no way. I love Jonathan Taylor. Like, actually. Like,
Johan knows how much I love him, too.
Derrick Henry is the biggest freak of nature on the field, and everyone's scared to draft him because he's so old at 28. Jonathan Taylor's going to be like 26 next time he starts a full season.
Yeah. It's not going to be
for like
Frank
1
Gore,
or 2.
You're not going to have Frank Gore out there run until he's 32, okay?
Okay.
It's going to be...
There's a chance. I'm not saying it's not impossible.
No, when I ask you, like, oh, you want to trade a first-round pick for
you didn't tell me.
or somebody else, the answer I get is, it's the foundation of my team. And then what happens, you guys give me these cast-offs that are, like, not even on the bench. I mean, it's insulting. So I'm like, okay, no one's going to give me their studs. And honestly, if I get the first-round pick, there's no Bijan there.
Well,
let
me say something.
There's no more.
We're just commenting on the fact that you said he would play multiple years. That doesn't mean that's not my opinion on the trade as a whole. I just was commenting on that your perspective on how long running backs are in the league for and they're in their prime. That's all I was.
Well, Austin Eckler's kicking ass, and what is he, 28 and a half?
I would consider him an outlier, though. Being the owner of Austin Eckler, I consider him a little outlier because of the way that he's played and the later start that he got to his career. Statistically, and this is, I mean, I'm sure everybody or most people in here are aware of this. Statistically, around 27 years old is when running backs start to break down when they're about midway through their second contract. But I mean,
you try to tell me that. Here's the thing: if I don't need another receiver,
correct?
Okay, I already got receivers. I need running backs. Now I got Spears, I got Zay Flowers, I got Bryce Young.
You had Jamar Chase.
Guys that can really, well, I'm trying to get if I got to get a quarterback who's young who could be franchised.
Sure.
Who knows?
Sure.
So that's why I made that deal. Okay.
Yeah.
And by the way, going back to when I said these trades, when I made these trades for first rounders, I had to pick between, like in one case, I had to pick between
Brad's and Marianne's. Yeah.
And at the time, Brad's
team is stacked.
Travis Kelce and got rid of a couple draft picks, like mortgaged his 2024 picks.
Yeah.
Okay, because he wanted to win now.
He went and got Travis Kelce. Smart move. Statistically, the right move.
I had a choice when I got my pick. Do I get Marianne's pick or do I get Brad's pick? So I said, I don't want Brad's pick. He's going to probably win the league or come in second. So I picked Brad. So what happens?
Marianne came in second.
4 or 5 games.
The underachievers became the team name.
Marianne goes all the way to the finals. So my pick that I thought was going to be a number 4 or a number 5 or 6 went all the way to a 9. Okay, so when you get these picks,
they're not guarantees. They're not a guarantee that they're going to be where you want them to be, and they're not a guarantee that the player is going to perform the way that they're expected. They could be a bust.
Exactly.
It's not a guarantee. They're lottery tickets, and you're making a good there is no running back that could be Jonathan Taylor in this draft. I think there is no Bijan, right? But you're getting Jonathan Taylor, who in theory could end up getting traded to the Dolphins or go sign a big contract somewhere else, and you could get a few years out of him, right? And he would be a consistent starter that you could put next to Dameon Pierce and lock up your running backs. You could win a couple more games. I could get the 103. Then I don't get Marvin Harrison and somebody else does. So it's risk on both ends. And that's why, when you were just like, I'll do it straight up for a first, I was like, well, I really want to just eke out that value. I'm always a value whore, right? I'm like, I got to get a little edge, right? Give me Tajay Spears. And you're like, no, Tommy, no. So
I actually didn't have an issue with the trade at all. I honestly thought that you could have gotten more from Tommy for that, to be honest with you, because I just figured that you had the leverage in the situation, and whatever he has to say, I mean, you were the one with the bargaining power, and so I mean, the trade was fair, but what I'm saying is that like, you know, you really had the leverage. You really didn't have to give anything. Yeah, I think that, you know, he's the one that's like, we all kind of don't know what's gonna happen with JT. I mean, JT could sit out the entire season. He could sit out 5 weeks and someone gets an injury that's a playoff contender, and then you get traded to them. You really don't know what's going to happen, but he's going to have to play, I think, in some capacity, or else he's not going to get paid next year. He's not going to get signed. So, but I thought the trade was fair.
Yeah, but so counterpoint to that, like, I also have the team build to be okay with not having Jonathan Taylor play a single game for me all year. You know, I can absorb that loss, and not a lot of people can.
That was last year.
Yeah,
that was you last year.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't even have Bijan then, right? Like, now I can absorb that loss. So I figured I'd shoot out an offer and see what he says. And I know that, you know, I know that I can work with Johan. I know that I can work with Joe. I know that I could work with Ian. There's some people in the league that you just don't, you know. You might as well bankroll a dragon hunt because you're gonna get more reward that way. Like, it's not worth the effort to try to pull teeth to get some of these people to trade. So I made a couple trades with some others, and they're very easy, right? Like, I traded Romeo Doubs. It was an easy trade. Marianne made a trade, which was surprising that Devontae Adams went over, and I had been trying to get Jalen Waddle from Jimmy for like multiple offers, and then all of a sudden he gets traded to Marianne. I'm like, what's up with that? Why can't I get a taste? But it's fine. You know what I mean? Like, I know that there are certain people that are always willing to listen if I throw an offer, and I'll just throw it out there. What's the worst they can do? Say no, and then we start a conversation. Some people are just like, this is offensive, go screw yourself, and never talk to you again. It's like, okay, I'll go work something else out. So there are opportunities here to be played. Everybody who's listening to this, that's not in this chat right now. So, yeah, like, I didn't think it was egregious. I think there's like appropriate risk on both ends. And I think that, like, I really love Jonathan Taylor. Johan knows I love Jonathan Taylor, dude. Like, it hurt me to agree to just a first round pick for him. I think that I probably would have been right at that spot, trade wise. Like, if we couldn't come to just a first, that probably would have just ended the deal for me. So no, I appreciate the talk, and we got the value that we wanted.
Yeah.
So my problem.
Go ahead.
Okay, my problem with the trade is the same reason that I had a problem with Pork Chops when he traded away Chris Olave. Yeah. I don't even remember for what.
Yeah.
Oh God.
But it's
Foreman,
just,
I think. Nothing.
Yeah, for like Deontay Foreman. It was a win now move.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a win now move for a team that was like, I'm gonna rebuild.
Yeah.
I'm like,
True. That is true.
Like, so if you're on a 2-3 year rebuild, Joe, that means you expect you're gonna lose.
Yes.
And then you trade away your draft pick for a guy. That's where I have the issue with it, because your draft pick, let's say it's fourth. Well, so we got the most data on the first rookie draft we had. Yeah. The first 4 picks were Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, then you had Drake London and Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
All of those guys in redraft are like a top 6 round draft pick.
Yes.
Like, and that's because Drake London is Desmond Ritter throwing to him.
Right.
Like, you take him away and they're like top 4.
They don't have that caliber in 24. They don't have those.
So what are you basing that on, though?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you basing that on, though, Joe?
Looking at spending 10 hours looking at the 24 draft picks online. Okay,
are you looking at the draft picks? Or are you watching college?
What? What was that?
Yeah, but are you just watching analysis, or do you actually watch the games and see how these people are playing?
I watch the games. I watch the video. I look at like Zay Flowers. I have a spreadsheet that has with all the players for the rookie draft. I created a spreadsheet that had like 7 or 8 different agencies, and if that same player popped in all 5 or 6, and I looked at how explosive they are and who are they playing for and what running back, who are they behind and what's the team like and all that. I mean, I spent a lot of time doing that. I think I did really good on my rookie picks. I got Zay Flowers, I got Mingo, I got.
I think you did.
Kincaid. I got guys that are one step behind. They're an injury or a step away from getting into the lineup. these aren't third and fourth stringers. No. And Tommy, you can tell by looking at my team. That's why you wanted Zay Flowers.
I think you made good picks. I mean, like you made good rookie picks, but I think what Johan is saying is, there's playing for the future and there's playing to win now, and we're getting, the moves sometimes indicate that they could be both. Because running backs have a shorter shelf life than wide receivers, it's probably more likely to be successful if you build around young receivers, which I think you're doing. You have young receivers, but you could, if you're expecting not to win this year, that pick becomes a little bit more valuable for yourself, even if it's not. Even if you don't want to take Marvin Harrison, for example. I'm a personal belief of like take the best player available, whether it's a wide receiver, position agnostic. For a rookie draft, situations always change. Look how fast the Jonathan Taylor situation changed, right? He stunk it up for the first 3 weeks of the inaugural season that we had. I got him from Johan because he was 0-3. I made the move to get him. He turned out to be the top rusher in the league. Ridiculous, right? The next year, he's injured half the season, and I'm starting Deion Jackson in his place. And this year, he's not even playing. Look at Tyreek Hill. I'm thinking, okay, I got a stack with Patrick Mahomes, with him and Hill. He ends up in the Dolphins. I'm like, is this guy worthless now? Tua's throwing to him. Is he going to do anything that he used to? And now him, Waddle, and Tua, and Devon Achane, they're looking to be one of the top offenses in the league. So it just ebbs and flows so much. You have to kind of try to build around the consistency of positions that are going to last longer because it's all so volatile. Like Devontae Adams getting traded from Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers, going to Derek Carr, having pretty damn good success out there in Vegas, and then Derek Carr ends up going away and he's got Jimmy Garoppolo. You would never expect a franchise receiver to leave a team like that because he's disgruntled, or a running back to leave a team like that. It'd be like Derrick Henry ending up somewhere else in his prime. Things happen that you don't really expect, and you just kind of have to build in the risk, the risk averse, or the risk absorption into your team with the positions. So I understand where Johan's coming from, but I also understand that, dude, your starting running backs are Dameon Pierce.
They're bad. I mean, you can't win. You can't compete in this league with two running backs who are getting 9 points a week.
Right.
You guys are getting 14, 15 points.
Right.
That's 10 points.
Yes.
That's the difference between being a playoff winner,
right,
and a so make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And Johan, when you picked up Pitts, I think you give away 2 first-round draft picks. Okay, so
if you're going to take a shot at my trade, let's go over it.
Let me finish. You told me he could be your franchise guy. That he could be the next Kelsey for the next 10 years. You told me that. I get it, but you got to be. Everybody has their philosophy. Okay, yeah. And so my philosophy is I got to get a guy who's going to get me more than 9 points. If it's 13, 14, I check off that box. And I still got a shit ton of drafts in 2024. I got my.
You have 4 second-round picks.
I think I got one of yours.
Yeah, you have 4 second-round picks.
Wow.
Right, and one of them is mine, and I think I got yours, Johan.
You got one of mine. You got one of Johan's. And I think you got Frunz's.
Right. So
maybe one of mine.
A 10, a 12, a 14, and a 16. Okay, you're going to get a lot of quality with a deep draft when I have 4 picks in the second round. And by the way, if somebody wants to give me a decent running back, well, I'm always open. The shop is always open.
I got some. You want some?
Yeah, I was going to say you didn't send me anything, Joe.
Yeah. You want Madison?
Well, last time I
got 4 starting running backs in the league. You want one?
Yeah, what are they? Which one are they, Brad?
Rashad White, CMC, Stevenson. I got 4 starting drives.
See who? Run DMC. Who?
Oh.
Okay, I'll be.
You know what? Let's have that conversation offline.
That's probably who wants to trade me.
But so Johan making the trade for Pitts, it's a little bit different. Pitts is 22. And he's a tight end, and tight ends normally last into their early 30s, career-wise. If they're having success, they will play longer than running backs, just because of shelf life, the amount of hits that they take, injury risk. just physical wear and tear on running backs' bodies. So how long did we talk about that trade? I mean, 6 weeks.
Yeah, no, it was.
We were hashing out the details heavy.
Yeah, because that's why I almost struggle to make trades with you, because we think alike about a lot of things. So that makes it hard to get trades done.
Yes, we do.
There's definitely some people that that will value both highly, and that makes it hard to get a trade. You'd really like to make a trade with someone who's got someone that they're so about and that you're high on.
Yeah.
So, and that was one of those things where it was just like, okay, is it worth 2 firsts for me? Because it's worth that to Tommy, and he's not going to go for 1.
Right.
But I held on to the ones that I viewed as higher.
Yeah.
Like I held on to the ones that I think are going to do worse in the league. That's honestly probably a shot at Frunze and Jimmy. Sorry, not sorry. But it is what it is. I thought they were going to do worse than me this next year, so I was like, all right, I'll send them mine.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And it's what makes this fun is everybody has their own theory and they do their work. Like I know I put in a ton of work. I know Joe puts in a bunch of work. Like we all pay attention to different things and we interpret it differently. And that's kind of what makes the success. Here's Fuhr.
Fuhr's in here?
He's here now.
Who's going in there? I don't think I finished in there this year. Was that you, Johan, or was it Bork that finished in a toilet bowl?
No, I was third. I was trying. I was trying. I wanted to be in there. Team did too well at the end of the year.
Yeah, but with all of these, with all the different interpretations that people do, like there's opportunity for people to have different opinions, and there's places that we can like make work. Johan and I can hash stuff out. It's tough because again we do think very, very similarly, but we make stuff work because we're willing to have a conversation and not take things personally, and yeah, Joe and I chirp each other, but at the end of the day, we both want to better our team, and I think that we can do that. You don't seem convinced.
My trade time will tell.
Yeah, exactly. You don't seem convinced, but I think there's risk. There's risk on both ends of the trade, and I think that we can both absorb the risk at that point. So,
and getting back to Jonathan Taylor,
yeah,
they misused him. He was on a horrible team. A horrible quarterback.
Don't talk about my team that way, man. Come on.
No, I'm just saying though that's a wear and tear on your guy.
It hurts my pride.
Look at McCaffrey now. He's revitalized because he's not getting 6,000 carries.
Yeah.
Okay, and so
true.
If Taylor had that surgery on his ankle. They cleared out some cartilage and some bone pieces, and he's not going to play because he's pissed.
Bone pieces and cartilage. Nothing really important.
No, it was. It's actually like a Arthur Scott.
You doctor?
No, it was not a big deal. It wasn't a big deal. Trust me, I looked it up. I actually called his physician and said if this trade would go through, I said, is he going to clear waivers so I can pick him up? And this team physician said, go ahead, Joe, make it happen.
Nice.
So
hey, you know what? That's called inside information. I like that. That's a good resource.
Actually,
you and Jim Irsay, you guys golf pretty regularly? Uh-oh.
Yeah, totally.
Dude, I thought my computer just crashed there. Everything froze up for a second. Sorry about that.
We did lose your video.
Yeah, everything froze up there for a second. Sorry about that. But yeah, you and Jim Irsay hitting the links, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that kind of leads into if everybody's done evaluating the excellent trade that Joe and I made. I love, by the way, everybody immediately piling onto me. Especially the comment of Joe, stay out of this. Your trade was fine. It's Tom we have the issue with. That had me dying, dude. I was laughing so hard with that.
It doesn't even matter if it's a good trade.
Exactly. They're just like, you know what? Boo Roger Goodell. That's fair. I get it. I deserve it.
Yeah, everyone liked the trade. It's just they wanted to talk shit to Tom.
I know. It's fair. I'll allow it. So yeah, I figured that would transition a little bit more into how we think the league's going to go. With the championship and who's going to be flushed into the Pooper Bowl. It's going to be me and Brad first off. That's my opinion. I think we're S tier.
Yeah.
Me and Brad are
Yeah,
S tier for sure. Like, and I don't want to toot my own horn, so I'll let somebody else talk about it. But like, we're S tier for sure.
Yeah, it's Tommy, Brad, then Marianne.
I was gonna say Marianne's teams. Before I was even on the league, I saw her team. I was like, oh, she's. I mean, and she's made moves too.
Yeah.
She had a stacked team before she was making moves. So
and she
I
got
definitely
younger.
think she's up there again this year. Yeah. Yep.
Wilson and Waddle. Like, I'm surprised that she got Waddle for Devontae Adams. Like, that's a pretty big win now move by Jimmy.
Oh yeah.
I always liked Jimmy's team too.
Yeah, his is pretty strong. Jim K.
I'm catching up. I'm pulling up the rosters.
Yeah.
Who has what?
Yeah.
You always end up scrolling through, and I know all these players exist. But I'm like, wait, who has what now? And then Najee goes flying to like 4 different teams. I'm like, who's got him now? Like,
Silence by Lamb. Jim K is carried by Josh Allen.
Ridiculously
carried.
I don't know what you guys think. I think Johan's team is actually like playoff capable.
I think he's gonna make some noise.
Could have spike weeks. You have the spike week potential to win. If you make it to the playoffs, you could make a run. That's what I'm afraid of.
I agree.
So it's spike.
You have
spike
no
potential.
idea how many times I have stared at my phone with my 2 draft picks next year and my young running backs and be like, do I just fucking sell out for this year?
Yes.
Like,
it's time to be in.
Like, yeah, I was like, so this, if I do it, that's a year ahead of schedule. I was planning 1 more year to pick up more young players before I started.
What really set you behind? Sorry. I think what really set you behind was Breece Hall. Like, Dalvin Cook signing in New York really, really hurt that like win now opportunity.
Honestly, I think Dalvin affects Breece Hall way less than the ACL. I think once Breece Hall is 100%, he is significantly better than Dalvin Cook today.
I think so too.
Comparing Breece Hall to prime Dalvin Cook, I think they're actually super comparable.
Okay.
I think by the end of the year and like playoffs, he's fine. My bigger concern is that all of my running backs are huge spike week potential, super talented running backs, and they're all coming off injury issues. So it's hard for me to sell out because Etienne, great. There was like the 6 weeks where he didn't have under like a 60-yard run.
Yeah.
Like he's just super explosive, super fast.
Yep.
That's super awesome to see from a manager perspective because you always get scared. Doug Peterson didn't draft him. Does Doug Peterson feel the same way about this guy? Okay. He obviously loves him. He showed off. Okay, not worried about that. Not 100% healthy. Breece Hall, animal, was like looking like he was going to be the RB1.
He's a monster, dude.
Yeah, tears his ACL. All right, he's coming off that. J.K. Dobbins. Pretty good. J.K. Dobbins has been like the hardest player because, Ian, I don't know if you knew this, but the day we did this startup fantasy draft is the day J.K. Dobbins blew out his knee in training camp.
He took Dobbins.
It was during the draft. The draft had not finished.
It was 2 rounds after you picked him. Because then, right when it happened, I nominated Gus Edwards. Because you drafted him for $45 out of $300 for the budget. Like, and then 2 rounds later he gets hurt. That's painful.
Yeah, talent wise, he's 100% there. I don't doubt that.
Yeah.
Last year when he was playing well and he was limping into end zones.
Yep.
Like that's scary. They're like, all right, is this guy? Yeah. So that has been the number one thing pulling back my trigger from people getting sent offers for CMC and Derrick Henry. I actually did try to get Derrick Henry though.
Did you really?
Jimmy didn't want to take last, so he didn't trade him to me. Yeah, no, I actually made a play for both Josh Allen and Derrick Henry, and Jimmy probably smartly said no.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
Dude. Unless you're giving him a lot. I mean, that's
it wasn't bad. It was Fields, DJ Moore, and a draft pick.
So did you say 2 draft picks?
Draft pick.
Probably should have been 2 draft picks.
No, because Derrick Henry, he's already beaten time compared to most running backs. Yeah. I think he'll be great this next year, and after that, I have.
I would have taken that.
Yeah.
If the pick was a first, I would have taken that. Yeah. Like right away, honestly.
Yeah. I definitely think Johan's team's going to make noise this year.
Yeah.
It's just
risky. it's going to make noise by making it to the playoffs. It's going to make noise by all the ACLs popping, one or the other.
Right.
There is no right?
True. Yeah, and then, God, I don't know. I think there's a mix. It's like there's like probably four teams that are like right in that next tier where they could all, just depending on matchups and depending on injuries, depending on luck, like it could all just mix it up. Like Marianne could very easily just win the league again. And that would really upset me a little bit, and I'm proud of her. But like, I think there's like 7 teams that could probably make noise in the playoffs and spike a week and win. Like, dude, Josh Allen and Derrick Henry could put up 80 points between them and just win a matchup. Simple as that. I think Ian's got some work to do. You know, I think you're doing good things with, like, I love George Pickens. I think he's got that like dog attitude to him, and you ended up with him, and I'm really excited for that because he's a badass. He's pretty sweet. I think you got a young core that could get there, and you're building around like Metcalf, Pickens, young wide receivers, and then you can pick up running backs. Dude, you can pick them up off the waiver wire because you're going to be active. You're going to be here and making picks. Plus, you got Chubb. Like, maybe you could get Chubb to Johan for a couple of his firsts. You know,
I think my oldest receiver is Chris Godwin at 27. Oh no, wait, I got I got Amari. I got Amari Cooper also.
And dude, yeah, your receivers are pretty damn good.
He's my oldest receiver at 29. Yeah. So, it definitely the wide receivers are definitely the strong suit right now.
Yeah.
Just got to work on tight ends as well. Something I got to work on, but just keeping an eye on quarterbacks and quarterbacks and tight ends will probably be my next moves over the future drafts or with trades.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's talk offline, man. I can make an interesting offer that I think both would be mutually beneficial given
you
your
don't
interest.
need anybody, dude.
I am open.
Leave me alone, man. Me and I are talking. You know, we'll talk after.
Get out of my room. It's fair. You guys we can talk after. Offline. It's fine.
Yeah.
What do you think, Joe?
I think we should evaluate the trade right now to see.
A live trade proposal?
I want to hear it, Brad.
No, we'll talk after. We'll figure it out. I don't want to have any outside influence.
Outside influence. What's up, Fuhr? What are you doing, dude?
You froze my phone on laundry list of issues I got with this guy. God damn it.
Well, you got 8 minutes. Let her rip.
He's got a pipe. I'm just waiting for the list to get rolled out.
Dude, there's a scroll.
You can see me?
Yeah.
Can you see me? I can't see me, but
yeah, we can see you.
We can see the top of your head.
The Targaryen. One of my favorite purchases of the summer.
Well, what do you got to say? What do you got for us? Yeah, great job. Yeah, about what I expected from this guy fucking joining the chat. Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe he's got something. Maybe Tommy
You're trying to kick me out of the chat.
Oh, God. The conspiracy commissioner, dude. That's right. Yeah, I'd like to hear the offer from Brad. We can do a little live trade eval, see some negotiations go down.
No, I mean, I'm just.
Let's see if there we go. Yeah, the communist man.
Let me see who he's got. I gotta get on my phone and take a look at what Brad's gonna offer. Let's see here.
The communism missioner.
That's right. I love that. That's dude. When you were like, "Hey Joe, your trade was fine. Stay out of this. I got a problem with Tom." I'm like, I loved that. It was so good. So what do you think? What do you think about the league? What do you think? What do you think is going to happen this year? That's where we were talking about who's going to win, who's going to finish low, and that type of stuff.
Well, we know who's winning.
I vote for low.
Brad, I would vote for Brad winning.
I mean, at this point, it's probably more worthwhile to try and lose because at least that's still, a bit more of an RNG. But we know the final is going to be Marianne. And the fucking communist.
Oh, baby, I love it. That would be nice again. Keep it in the family, dude. See that little trophy right there?
If that is the final this year, I swear on my life, I'm done. I'm gone.
No, you're not, dude. Come on.
And you can't replace me.
No.
Nope.
The team
You're
just
gonna have
goes
to play
away.
9-team league. We got to start a segment. Fuhr's Furious 40.
I love it.
Rhymes sounds great.
That's a pretty
just a
sad
freaking
low
rant.
bar.
I love
You mortgaged
it.
your whole future for last year.
I'm trying to make the playoffs. That's my goal this year. Make the playoffs for the first time ever.
I think, dude, honestly, I think your team could be pretty freaking good with Cooper Kupp. If Deshaun Watson plays better, you got Javonte Williams.
Wait, hold on. Before we get to my, fabulous third place team, is this the new guy in our?
Yeah, this is Ian. Yeah.
Ian.
Yeah. Hey, what up?
Is he down there?
Yeah, that's Ian. Yeah, he's taking over the Bork Chops team.
What's up, Ian?
Yeah.
Yo.
You're gonna just go right into the playoffs with that absolute trash can of a team.
He might. Yo, how mad would you be if that happened?
What's going on with this golden retriever flying around in the background?
I had to be a little extra for my first podcast.
Yeah, a little bit. That's
Jeez
all it
Louise.
is.
All right, baby, come on. I like it, but yeah. So what? We're doing a podcast with more than half the league in here.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, I didn't expect Joe to join because he can't figure out technology. I didn't expect anybody else to join, but Ian threw the link in, and now you guys are
That's
here.
why I always target Joe on the trades, but he can never figure out how to accept them.
Hey, he figures out how to accept good ones, like from me.
99% of the way there, and then he doesn't know how to hit accept. So
yeah, he figures out how to get good ones. That's me.
Number one prediction for the season, I will send Joe at least 4 trade offers, and he'll like all of them, but he won't accept any of them.
Uh-oh.
No, I think I'm...
He's pulling a Mitch McConnell, dude. He doesn't even know what to say. He's just fucking... Joe, you there?
Yeah, but I can't hear him speaking. He's lip syncing.
That's why he's not laughing.
Oh, okay. He's saying that he's going to send you 4 trades this season, and you're going to like them all, but not be able to figure out the accept button.
Yeah. The door is always open.
The door is always open. My prediction is I'm going to send you at least 4 trades, and you're going to take them as personal insults and firebomb my house, and just immediately
let
decline.
it be known. Anytime he sends me a trade, I will let you all know what he's doing.
Dude, I'm just trying to get the conversation going. That's all, man.
With absolute. I mean. That's why I put numbers on all my players. So that
is that why?
I can't hear him.
What is Javonte Williams at? I don't remember. Do you have my roster open?
That's a minus 3.655.
All right, I'm not sure why.
Because you were trolling Joe.
Yeah, I was, but
dude, I honestly think your team could be like a sleeper, freaking playoff, sneak into the playoffs and have a couple pop-off games and win.
I've been third place every year.
Games.
Yeah,
beat me with.
I've come in third every year.
It's true.
3 touchdowns against me in the Giants game. Remember when you beat me through it? And I needed to win, and Williams scored 3 goal line scores.
I remember that against New York.
And I was like, here we go. We got Kelsey. We're gonna go on a run, and then it was just
0-5.
Lose every game after.
0-5 from the Kelsey trade.
You started that. So.
Good job, dude. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, thanks, Brad. You torched me too. You sent me a shit draft pick. I couldn't get Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm watching everybody that picked ahead of me. Jahmyr Gibbs, blah blah blah, 12 points, and here I am. Got to get PUP players to get a freaking running back. I mean, that's sad.
Hey,
Charlie went 1 pick before me. Honestly, I couldn't have wrecked this team more. I mean, I'd be a playoff contender if I just would have done nothing for 2 years.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. I would have had the top receiver, top tight end, Etienne. I would have had.
Yeah, you would have had Etienne, Jamar Chase, Garrett Wilson, Mark Andrews. Your team would have been insane. And what do you have to show for it?
Now you have a team that doesn't.
See that? I had a bigger stuff.
You guys can't hear each other for some reason, or he can't hear you for some reason.
I don't think he can hear me.
No.
All I hear is.
How did that go?
I'm glad we're getting somewhere with it.
Tell me you gotta translate. I'm not getting it.
This is painful.
I think he has me muted.
Do you have him muted, Joe?
Call me on your jitterbug.
Somebody muted. I can actually have that
Jitterbug,
happen.
hit your life alert.
Hold on. Life alert. How can I mute a certain person? Can't do that.
It's on the back of your AARP card. Get a little
Klondike
louder for
6-9er.
Say something.
I've been saying something the whole
all I get
time.
is
No, you can't.
I can't hear you.
All right. Let's let Fuhr talk for a second and let him say what he's got to say.
Well, I'm willing to trade Richardson to anyone in this league other than Tom.
Come on, man.
So,
That's painful.
you're
dude.
looking for a trade. Come on by.
So you're open for
I think I'm
business,
coming-
huh?
For the
Okay.
right price. It's always going to be a little bit more expensive for you.
That's fair. Well, what's your thoughts on Trey Lance, dude? You're hanging on to him for a second. Let him up for a third-round pick?
I mean, if Dak breaks his tibia again,
Yeah.
all of a sudden, you know.
Yeah, you got a chance.
Trey Lance turns into a quarterback who couldn't beat out Sam Darnold. Fair enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Cooper Rush gets the start, and Trey Lance holds his clipboard.
The hilarious thing is, at the beginning of the offseason, I actually started messaging Fuhr about Lance, and he was acting like he was going to need like a fair bit for him, so I stopped talking, and now I'm like, oh my God, I almost got trade room.
Getting bullet dodge there, huh?
Yeah, like,
Yeah, I think I was doing the same with Cooper Kupp.
He's still got, 20 years to prove himself?
Yeah, he'll be fun. He'll be fun.
20 years, 20 snaps, same thing.
Wait,
Yeah, I'm glad I'm glad I didn't end up trying it harder for DeAndre Swift. That would have been a freaking disaster. I know I sent a couple offers for him.
Yeah, but he looked good back then.
Nah.
I wanted Javonte Williams.
Their
I
talent
remember
is there.
I wanted Javonte or DeAndre really bad, and you were like, they're the staple of my team. I won't trade them.
Yep.
Like the week after, Javonte tore his ACL. I was like, that was a dodge.
No, like, wow, bullet dodge there, huh?
Yeah.
How am I supposed to fucking predict that? The guy was hot as hell.
It's called karma,
people
brother.
Dude, no. There's no bad
Karma
karma
for
for
you,
not making
dude.
bad trades. Jesus Christ. I'm the only one who's willing to say shit in this league about El Dictorio over
Dude,
here.
everybody says shit about me. Everybody jumped on me yesterday. Immediately.
What are you talking about? Everyone else in this league has calluses on their knees. No fucking way.
I wish, dude. I got 9 different sets of teeth marks on my my business down here, so I appreciate that. Hey, by the way, that's what the trophy looks like. You see that? Just in case you need to get a picture of it, it's right back there.
No, I actually thankfully cannot see it.
Oh, it's disappointing. All right, I'll send you a
Side
picture.
profile. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
hot.
look at that.
Yeah, sharp, right?
It's smaller than I expected.
That's what she said. We'll bring it up here. How about that? Sit it on my lap like a baby because it's my baby right there. So it'll just stay in its home over here.
Financially
Tommy, we
sustainable
know you're proud
decision
of
to
it.
make the
you brought it
trophy.
to
You're
Brad's
never...
wedding.
Honestly, I'm just happy I haven't had to ship it off anywhere.
We all know you're not going to ship it anywhere.
Well, no, because the loser of the league, the winner of the toilet bowl or whatever who gets flushed, has to pay for shipping and engraving.
Yeah, but it's never going to have to leave the house.
My goal
Yeah,
this year is to avoid that. That's my goal.
Yeah, it'll just
Very-
that's your goal.
Very meager expectations.
Yeah, don't pay extra.
Don't finish last.
I like it.
So who are we pegging as the sleeper to win the league this year?
I'm gonna say it's Johan. Dude.
No, I don't.
That's my
No,
vote.
not me. No, it's Johan.
No, don't put that on me. Don't put that on me. I
Yeah.
traded away my draft
did.
pick. Don't put that on me.
It's Johan, dude.
I don't think it's going to be a sleeper. I think that between Marianne, the guy rigging this league, and Brad, it's going to be one of them. The only
It's
reason I
pretty
might
tough,
give it to
dude.
Brad is to make it like just to put the suspicion off of. That might,
Yeah.
They might stick Brad. They might have Brad have 1 year, then go on a 5-year run,
No.
and be like, "Well, Brad won that 1 year, so we can't fix it."
I will never let somebody win. No. You have to take it from my cold, dead hands.
Yeah, we
can't
know
let me
because
win.
the second one of you guys starts losing, you just make a trade with your wife. Oh, look at how great my team is now.
Marianne and I have never made a trade. No, we never made a trade.
Feel like there's that I don't know. I don't know if that's true.
No, she doesn't want me to win. She wants her to win.
Just to be clear, the second you two make a trade.
Oh, the league's going to implode. I know.
Dude.
It's going to be a disaster.
You know, and this is nice because you're painting the whole martyr picture for yourself.
I am.
Because I can't trade with as many teams as you guys can, but
true.
whatever.
It's true. I am nothing but a fair and like just equitable trader. I just want to have conversations. I can have a conversation with Joe.
You start every trade exactly how Johan starts every trade, with the most ridiculous offer that if I were to accidentally accept it would absolutely decimate my team for the rest of the year and years to come. To get the conversation started.
Joe's on the soundboard. Oh no. Joe found the soundboard. Oh shit.
Perfect
Now
time. He
you're in
doesn't even know
trouble.
what I'm saying.
I've
He
got
had
like
the perfect
15 pieces to
time.
choose from. Oh, this is going to be fun.
Shit.
Where are the Stooges?
Oh fuck. Oh, that's bad.
He can't hear me, so you have to input some
the same way
sound.
you guys are all walking.
Oh, here we go. All right. So before we go into the soundboard, does anybody have anything else that they want to discuss here? Oh, Joe and I made a bet in Brad's league. So I am taking 12 games minimum being played. I think Jamar Chase finishes with more points than Justin Jefferson in a full PPR league. And we're betting
Full PPR?
Full PPR. Same games played. I think he finishes with more points.
And if they have a game differential, it's the average per game. You know, as long as they get at least 12 in. You know,
Yeah,
so
average per game minimum of like 12.
12.
I think in a full PPR he finishes with more points than Justin Jefferson.
Even the experts are stumped.
I know. How do you feel
Well,
about
I mean,
that?
Jamar Chase averaged really, in terms of points per game, but like I just think that Jefferson is gonna be something that you've never seen, but we've never seen before this year or next year. Like he's one of the best receivers that the league has seen. I think he's gonna break records. Cooper Kupp's, record, I think is gonna be broken easily.
You think so? Even though re-signing Hawkinson to a big contract and drafting Jordan Addison, you think that he's going to put up more?
I think that does nothing but help him.
No
honestly.
way.
Yeah, the teams. I mean, he's double covered. He was double covered, pretty much, and he put up those numbers every play. So,
That Cooper
I
Kupp record is
saw
untouchable.
plays he was making. Like, are you kidding me?
I know, dude. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying I think Jamar Chase is going to have 160 targets. He could score 15 touchdowns. He's going to put up more points, and that's why I'm making the bet. I just think that he becomes. I like the quality of targets from a Joe Burrow offense better than from Kirk Cousins. Even though him and Jefferson have done it for 3. Listen, I know Jefferson has set. He has the most yards and touchdowns and receptions as a third-year wide receiver than the record for receivers that have played 4 years. So he's like a year ahead of everybody. He's only going to be adding to those totals. And I understand he's really, really good. I just think Jamar Chase this year is going to be that little bit better than Jefferson. I think he finishes as the number 1 wide receiver. If all things considered, health, whatever, like I think he finishes as the number 1 wide receiver and outscores Jefferson in a full PPR league. So we're betting dinner. I really like the pondering on this, though.
That's the bet. Looks like everybody's like. Looks like the vote is split.
I mean, Tom's just talking about 2 guys on his own team, so that's pretty cool.
That's Brad. Brad has both of them.
Yeah, I think that's really going to come down to how many primetime games Kirk Cousins plays.
Honestly, yes. Yes, Sunday night, Monday night. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think Justin Jefferson or Kirk Cousins are getting any better. Like,
they're still pretty freaking good, even if they don't get better, though.
Yeah, I don't think they're getting better.
Yeah.
I don't think Cooper Kupp's record's going anywhere.
So you
Yeah,
would take
that
my
one-
hang on,
That was
hang
a
on.
bold comment.
So-
That's a bet I would take 100%.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, though, I would never agree with the commissioner.
So you wouldn't take my side, dude? Come on.
Only because
Come
it's
on,
you.
dude. Hop in the dinner boat with me.
What are we putting prop bets on your bet?
Do I win my bet? If so, you win. Listen, I'll have Joe pay for your dinner if my bet hits.
I'll take 10 off the top.
Price is wrong, bitch.
Oh, I also made a bet this past week. I was talking to Frunza. I actually guessed
I make
the
plays.
Vegas.
I don't make plays. Joe.
Is that the soundboard?
Yeah, it is. We'll play with the soundboard
my
after the
God.
record because we just hit an hour,
Wow,
so
that
I would like
sounded
to wrap this
exactly
up.
like Tom.
I just want to end the recording here soon. So yeah, what was your bet?
Oh, my bad. I didn't realize you were still recording.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we bet. I actually guessed the Vegas money line on the Packers over under because Fruins was very down on the Packers this year.
Yeah.
But the Vegas line for the Packers is 7.5. What do you guys think over under?
Oh God, I think
Over.
they get to 8. I think
I
8 would
I
be
said
about it.
8-9. They're going to be 8-9 or 9-8 this
Yeah.
year.
I think 8
Yeah.
wins is about it for them.
I'm high on the
The
Packers.
one thing I
I'm
will
high on
say-
Jordan Love.
The one thing I will say is the reason Frunza is so down on the Packers is because of all the first-round draft picks he traded away for Packers players who have done nothing.
He's got Romeo Dobbs, dude. That guy's a baller.
Yeah. Dude, you sent me.
Around this game.
Yeah, when he sent Tommy that trade, Tommy took a screenshot and sent it to me. He's like, "Did I miss something?"
I
Because he
did.
was like, "Why is he offering me a first for Dobbs?"
Yeah.
And I was like,
Dude, I scoured Twitter. I was like, did I miss him?
Yeah, you also scoured the dark web for roofies so you could drug them to make that trade happen.
Listen, come on, dude. It just happens. When you're handsome and smart, like things just happen, dude. I don't know.
Jesus Christ. Fucking 1%.
All right. Any final thoughts before I end the recording and we can BS offline here?
I'm not.
I have one parting comment about my team.
Yeah.
Oh no! We suck again!
All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll get back on this after week 1, and we'll do a quick thing after that. All right. So thanks everybody for your participation. See ya.